Hello, CroweTV. Coming at you live from our kitchen, from my kitchen. Luke's coming live from looks like a closet, I think.
That would be right.
He's hanging out in the closet. How's it going, Luke?
Going good, man. Nice to see you again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. Um, yeah, we're doing a little kind of impromptu chat tonight. I have a little fun kind of activity for us to do here. Bit different from our other videos where we just talked about lists of top 10 lists of bands. This is kind of just a little quarantine impromptu kind of chat. So yeah, so how's things going with you in these troubling times? How's things going?
Things are going relatively well. I mean, it's dark times
Mm,
for many reasons. Obviously in Nova Scotia, I don't think I have to say more.
yeah.
But I'm getting through it, man. Things like these really help you feel better.
Yeah, yeah. I've mentioned before. Yeah, this is a Nova Scotia-based channel where both of us were born and raised in Nova Scotia. So, pretty messed up thing happened over the weekend here. If you've been reading the news, so hits pretty close to home for us too, since we're both from that area. Lots of family and friends around there. So, this video is supposed to be something lighthearted and just to remember that things will get better and we'll get past this pandemic. And yeah, this is basically hanging out with your friends, talking online. So
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
yeah, so yeah, things have been okay for me too. Just working from home. It's pretty boring sitting in your apartment. I have the luxury of working from home. I know a lot of others don't have that, so I really shouldn't complain. But yeah, I live alone, so it's kind of lonely some days. But listen to some tunes, watch some videos, work on some music. I've been working on a lot of music, which is kind of fun. So
Good to hear that. Yeah, and they just announced there's going to be a student benefit, so I'm feeling a little bit better about the next coming month, paying rent and whatnot.
right, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Trudeau is trying to do the right thing. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of him. Some people aren't. He can be pretty hit or miss. But you can tell he's more or less trying to do the right thing. But there's still a lot of things he should be changing about how he does things. But
Yeah.
we won't get into politics here.
Okay.
Um, so that's niceties aside. I just kind of wanted to do a little introduction, check in on how each other are doing, and we'll get to the fun stuff here.
I'm
Uh,
really, I'm really excited about what you have in store for me. This is
yeah, I actually came up with this first thing here. Just actually today, I want to try it out to see if it actually works. So first off, I don't really call myself much of a magician at all. I'm not a magician at all. But I have a magic trick that I kind of want to try to see if I can pull it off on Luke. So let's give it a try here. It's just like it's like a mental magic trick.
okay. Okay.
I want to
Okay.
try it out on you, see if I can do it.
I'm a little nervous here.
All right, let's get my pen and paper here. All right, Luke, I'm gonna need you to think of a couple things for me here. So first thing I need you to think of, immediately, just the first thing that comes to your mind, something that you'd have for dessert after supper, like ice cream or any. I mean, well, don't say ice cream because I just said ice cream, but something you would have for dessert.
Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. So think of the last letter of that dessert food, the last letter of the word.
Yep.
Yep, you got it. Now I want you to think of a breakfast food that starts with the last letter of that word, of the dessert. A breakfast food that starts with that letter. First thing that comes to your head.
Yeah. Okay. I did then. It's yeah.
Yeah, don't
Too
say
too
it.
easy, but yeah, I
You
did.
got it? Yeah, okay. Now, the second letter of the breakfast food. Think of an instrument that starts with that letter. First thing that comes to your mind.
Oh well, this is some. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
You got it? You got it? Okay. You got that musical instrument? The second letter of the musical instrument. No, actually, the third. Let's do the third letter of the musical instrument. You got it?
Yeah.
Think of a color in a coloring, like a box of crayons that starts with that letter. Like,
Okay.
all of the colors of the rainbow, not just
It'd
like,
have to be a big color, big box of crayons.
yeah, yeah, but like, yeah, exactly, like a big selection of colors. You got it though?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what color you're thinking of. I'm just gonna write it down here. Is this the color? Is this the color you're thinking of?
You're gonna have to hold it in front of the screen for me. Yes.
You were thinking of indigo?
Yes.
Awesome. Were you actually thinking of that?
Yes, but you led me down a path that is so easy to follow. You know what I mean?
But do you see how I got indigo?
Yes. There's only so many colors that have the word I in them.
Yeah, but you had to have gotten to I first, though, right?
Yeah, but you chose the most, obvious thing, right? When you say the first thing that comes to your mind, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's good. I like that.
Well, I got inside your head, right? So.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I typically wouldn't have an egg for breakfast, but you say that's the most common breakfast food I could think of.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, if you can figure out how the trick's done, then consider yourself a David Blaine type magician like myself. But until then, I won't reveal my secrets because true musician doesn't. But yeah, I guess I pulled that off successfully. I just want to try it out.
Should I turn the tables on you and do one on you?
Do you have one?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. It's going to be a spelling game.
Okay.
Okay.
I am an ace speller, so.
Well, yeah, spelling and pronunciation.
Okay.
What word is MacDonald?
McDonald.
Okay. Are you better than me then? Okay, how about MacDougall?
McDougal. These are names. These aren't words. These are names.
Okay.
McDonald, McDougal.
How about Machine?
Machine.
You're too
Like
good.
my kind? You wanted me to say my kind?
Yeah, I was hoping you would.
Well,
Can't fool you.
no. I'm an ace speller, right? So
Okay.
one of my best subjects in school.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Well, I fell for that one, so.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Crow's magic trick variety show that comes to an end. So before we get into the final, not the final, but the big thing that I wanted to do this video around, what are you listening to lately? What's music are you listening to during these quarantine times? Anything you want to mention? Because we love talking music, so.
Like quarantunes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that band documentary, actually, the Robbie Robertson
Oh, yeah.
documentary is what it actually is.
Yeah.
Do you happen to see that?
No, I've been hearing about it, but I haven't watched it yet. It's on Netflix, isn't it?
No.
Or
It's on HBO.
HBO, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So my parents have that, so I was able to watch it at their house. It's pretty good, man. It's very focused around him, but the early years, there's some cool footage from the Hawks, Ronnie Hawkins,
Mm-hmm.
and some little bit of Bob Dylan in there.
Yeah.
They don't get into like Planet Waves or anything like that, but they talk about that tour they did.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. For music or for pure audio, I kept seeing that Fiona Apple album everywhere.
Yeah.
And whenever I see that, I eventually check it out with kind of a bad attitude. Like I'm so annoyed by seeing this album. So it got a 10 rating somewhere. It's got like everybody was posting it.
Yeah.
So I decided to check it out, and I thought it was awesome. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that yet.
I haven't. I mean, I saw it got a 10 on Pitchfork, but I haven't checked it out. I don't know much by Fiona Apple. I know the song "Criminal,"
I,
obviously.
I didn't know a single thing. Like I hadn't heard a single thing, but there's just so much hype around it. I had to check it out because usually they don't live up to that hype.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it lives up to any hype, but it sounds. I've listened to it probably 3 times, and I love it.
Cool.
Uh, that new Bob Dylan song, I've listened to that a ton.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I you sent that to me. I listened to it, and I guess I just wasn't really in the mood for it. It didn't really grab me. It's a slower one. And like going back. I mean, I talked about this in that Bob Dylan video. I really don't know much new or modern stuff by him, so it's almost a shock hearing his voice.
yeah,
What it's like
it's
now, you know.
it's an acquired taste. His
Yeah.
voice is actually better than it was, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's just
It's
crazy.
his
Like,
first new material since 2012. So
it's crazy. Like when you listen to obviously another artist we love, but if you listen to Neil from the 70s, the 80s, but then you listen to him now, obviously he sounds older, but he still sounds more or less the same, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
yeah, he's got a different trajectory. I think smoking maybe has something to do with it in Dylan's case.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Neil still sounds great today.
yeah.
He's starting maybe to lose it a bit on his latest video I watched, but he's going to lose his guitar playing before he loses his voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't seen that David Crosby documentary that you were telling me about last year or whatever.
It's excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
the other day I was on YouTube and I ended up watching that clip that's in the movie where he talks about it's the final Crosby, Stills and Nash performance ever where they played in front of Obama, that Christmas tree ceremony with they played Silent Night, and it's
that was the worst thing.
painful to watch. He
That's so sad.
Stills throws the pick at Crosby because he cuts him off. He reads his lines, and it's just.
Oh really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, there's like a teleprompter, and they all had their own lines, and Crosby just read everyone's lines, and Steven was about to Stills was about to talk, and he just cut him off, and Stills turns and throws the pick at him. Yeah.
I never picked up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're brutal. Anytime they perform or performed in the 2000s, really, it's brutal. But
Yeah.
Crosby's the only one out of that group that can still perform at a high level, which is very odd, I find.
Yeah.
Speaking of Crosby, though, he did an interview recently, and he recommended this Weather Report album, Heavy Weather, it's called.
Yeah.
And I've listened to that probably 10 times over the last week. So that's another thing I'm listening to constantly.
Weather Report?
Yeah, you ever hear Jaco Pastorius, the bass player? It's a jazz album. Yeah, it's excellent.
Oh, okay.
I highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Well, there's that Cowboys band that we both like. I've been trying to get into their newer album. I really like that band, but I gotta say the newest album hasn't really grabbed me that much. The Cowboys, they're from Bloomington, Indiana, I believe. Yeah, they got a new guitar player, I think, and this new album just doesn't sound the same. I still like the band, but anyways.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment when a band's kind of doing great album after great album, and then they put out one that you're kind of makes you do a 180 and kind of turn the other way and kind of go like it kind of makes you do a double take, like you're like, oh, is that the same band?
Yeah, it's frustrating actually.
Yeah. But you gotta respect bands trying something new. It doesn't always work.
Yeah, it didn't sound like they were trying anything real new. That was the thing. It was just lackluster. But I need to listen to it more. I can't really comment on it, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my Spotify here for stuff I've been listening to. Haim was supposed to put out another album, but that got postponed to the summer.
I love their new song.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I've been listening to that Sturgill Simpson album that came out last year. That one's great. I've been listening to that a lot.
Sound and Fury. I think it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
I like that one. Yeah.
yeah. Been listening to Richard Hell a lot. He's great. Like a motherfucker. That album, Johnny Thunder and the Heartbreakers. I know you've told me about them many times. I was late getting into them, but it's good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's never too late, man.
Yeah,
They're awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. This is kind of a time like the spring. This is this time when everyone's kind of getting things are happening after the wintertime, concerts and tours and new records and everything and shows, and everyone's either just at home trying to do stuff or not doing anything really.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's a hard time for that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm still trying to get some listening in though. Even school just finished up yesterday, so I got a whole, lots of time now.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good time for sitting at home and playing guitar and trying to come up with stuff, even though it's getting nicer out and everyone wants to go outside and.
I broke a string for the first time in years
Yeah.
playing guitar. I had to go to Mingo's and get him to bring it to the door, the package of strings to the door, and drop it through the slot.
Oh, yeah. They probably appreciate the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
No one's going in and buying guitars.
No.
I mean, I don't know if this is a good time to plug mine and yours band, but I know a lot of people that watch this channel probably don't know that me and you've played music together many times, and we just put out something that we worked on back in 2016, so 4 years ago, which is it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that long ago, but it was recently.
2016,
Or it was a while ago. Yeah.
2016, 2017, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll drop a link in the description if anyone wants to listen to it. But it's me and Luke and our other friend Adam and some rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll drop that down there if anyone wants to check it out. You got people are coming out with people are doing stuff with things they haven't. The quarantine's bringing out people's creativeness and wanting to do stuff, and wanting to release things they haven't put out yet. So it's
catching up on the backlog is what I call it.
yeah, exactly, yeah. All right, so this is the whole point of this video is I want to do a fun little bracket thing. For anyone, I don't know if you've noticed people have been posting them on Instagram a lot lately, but it's just been like the 60 or 30 band bracket. It's like determining what the best 90s band is or the best punk band or pop punk
or Bill Clinton holding records.
What's that?
Or Bill Clinton holding records. I keep saying that one
Yep.
all over and over.
Yeah, it's a popular meme going around at the moment, but this one is like the bracket thing. It's like you're pitting bands against bands. So I found one, but it's actually made up of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists.
Oh.
So it gets down there, and I did it myself with one that someone actually did, and I didn't agree with the matchups. I just didn't like how they did it. So what I did is I wrote out in a hat all 64 bands, and I put them in a hat, piece of paper. I'm gonna shake them up, and I'm gonna draw them out, pit two against one another. Ask them to Luke, and we're going to fill in this little chart that I found on Google here, PDF, editable PDF, and I'm going to do it myself, but I'm just going to write mine down. I made my own bracket here, so I'm going to write it down just so there's not too much on the screen.
Okay.
And we'll compare ours after we're done, kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from my hat here of some of the bands. I'm going to draw two at a time, and we're going to start this bracket. Does that sound good to you?
Sounds great. You put a lot of work into this, it seems.
Yeah, well, 20 minutes or so took me to write all this out, but
That's cool.
all right. Here comes the first two bands. So we got Prince. And we got Pink Floyd. So Prince or Pink Floyd. Who would you pick between them two? Can't type.
Neither one of them I'm completely familiar with. I guess mean, this is controversial, but I'd have to go with Pink Floyd. I love Prince.
Yeah.
But I think I know more music by Pink Floyd.
I agree with you. I mean, Prince is... I almost got into him more after he died, if that's almost kind of fair to say. My mother... I grew up listening to Prince because my mother really liked him, but as a kid, I didn't think he was that great. I thought he was almost annoying. But I grew to really respect the guy, but... Yeah, I'm going to agree...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to agree with you. Pink Floyd for me because I... had quite a few moments in life doing drugs and listening to Pink Floyd.
See, I don't have any of those moments, but just recently I just started listening to Pink Floyd a bit.
Yeah.
I really kind of enjoy some of it. So.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Syd Barrett stuff, which is great. The middle of the career is the best. The '70s stuff, Pink Floyd. But anyways.
I've never even listened to their albums in full, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm still on the. This is a hard one because I'm so new to both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the Australian Pink Floyd band in high school, very very stoned and literally like hallucinated while watching them. It was insane. Great light show.
I really like it. I like that song "Bike" or "Bicycle."
Yeah.
That's a really cool song.
Yeah, it's the Syd Barrett stuff.
I listened to that over and over.
All right, so that's the first one. So now we'll draw two more bands here. So next up we got U2 versus AC/DC.
Easy enough for myself.
Yeah.
AC/DC all the way for me. I mean, I still like them.
I mean, I'm going to agree with you there. AC/DC for sure. U2 do have some good songs. I'm not ashamed to admit there's some songs that I really enjoy by them, but overall, AC/DC's, the dirty rock and roll band.
Yeah, I just know a lot more of their music. That's why this is going to be hard because the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists, I don't know. I don't listen to most of them, I assume, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite AC/DC singer, Brian Johnson or Bon Scott?
Probably going to go with Brian Johnson.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. I'm Bon Scott all the way.
I love Bon Scott.
Yeah, his voice is just so much better. Brian Johnson's got that scratchy.
Yeah, but it's original, you know?
Yeah.
So they're both original.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not, you know?
Okay.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't particularly love either one of them.
Okay. So now we're gonna get down to our first elimination here: Pink Floyd versus AC/DC.
For me, it's AC/DC.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Pink Floyd here for me.
Yeah.
Just because they resonate with me better as just a band. All right.
As an adult, Pink Floyd resonates with me more.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to go with what I know and.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Up next, we got the Beatles.
That's gonna be tough to
versus Metallica.
Okay. I think you can fill that in.
I think I can. Yeah. You're a Metallica. You've always been a Metallica guy all the way. So.
I like them less than I like you. I like U2 more than I like Metallica.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree with you here. Obviously, I'm gonna pick the Beatles. I really liked Metallica growing up. I was always into Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning. Saint Anger came out when I was 13 and didn't know that was a bad album.
People were stoked when it came out. Like all the metalheads in my junior high loved it when it came out. It was fast, and their stuff before that was slow and shit.
Mm-hmm. Has one of the best all-time snare drum sounds. Am I right?
Oh yeah, it's great, man. it's a sample of a fart or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
It's like someone farting into an aluminum can, and they just use that as the snare drum. All right, so up next we have the Birds, the BYRDS, versus Run DMC.
That's pretty hard to compare. I like Run DMC, but obviously it's the Birds.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Always liked the Birds. Big fan. One of the seminal 60s bands. So now it comes down to the Beatles or the Birds.
I think you can answer this one for me.
Yeah, I mean, if it was against any other band, I would probably pick the Birds. But if it's against the Beatles, they don't stand a chance, unfortunately.
No.
So who would you pick, AC/DC or the Beatles?
Beatles, obviously.
Yeah. So mine is Pink Floyd versus the Beatles, so I'm going to go with the Beatles. So they have won the top left quadrant for both of us.
Okay.
Beatles.
I have a feeling they're going to win the entire thing, but...
Well, you never know. You don't know who's in here, right? Someone might come out here and blow your mind.
Someone on my Twitter put Sloan are the Canadian Beatles, but are better.
Yeah.
Changed my mind, and I didn't want to try to change their mind, but I mean, obviously that's a really rough comparison.
It is. But I can't really think of anyone else, like even just not Canadian, but like bands that are like the Beatles other than Sloan. Just they have the 4 members, all of them sing, they all write songs. They switch up the instruments.
Yeah, except the Beatles only made probably 7 or so albums.
Yeah, exactly.
Sloan went on to make some pretty shitty ones.
Yeah. Man, I was on Spotify the other day looking at some listening to Sloan, and I can't believe some of the album art that they used later in their career, man. Like that's some of the worst shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with them.
I'm to detract from this for a sec. I'm gonna bring one up. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I hate that. I absolutely hate that album cover.
Yeah. It looks like fan art or something.
Yeah, just the graph paper, the picture of them, even the picture of them sucks. Like just.
I think they got caught up in that whole late 2000s or late 90s, early 2000s.
That's the most early 2000s album cover I've ever seen. One of the most. Yeah. Anyways, that's that. We kind of went off on a tangent about Sloan, but we're Canadian, so we've talked about them a lot. If you don't know who Sloan are, well, you should listen to them. They're awesome.
They're awesome. Twice Removed is awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna go up to the upper right side of the quadrant here. So we're gonna pit Genesis against Little Richard.
I'll go with Little Richard.
Okay.
The creator of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I like Little Richard actually. Music.
Yeah, I mean, I like some Genesis songs. I think I know more by Genesis than I do Little Richard, so I'm gonna just have to go with Genesis out of knowing him more.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not a massive fan of them. They have some good songs, but not something I'm gonna put on to listen to. Unfortunately,
yeah, I'm not a fan at all. I can't say.
Yeah. All right. The next one's up here. We got Elvis Presley. Don't know if you've ever heard of him. Versus Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Again, I think you could fill this one in for me.
I think so, but just to confirm, Elvis or
Crosby,
CSN? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. You know, it's almost the king of rock and roll, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit down and put on an Elvis album if I want to listen to something.
Yeah, he's got a couple of good songs, but I'm not I'm not a big Elvis fan.
Yeah, he's iconic, but he's not. He hasn't done for me what CSN, Crosby, Stills, and Nash have done.
Yeah, in times like this, I find Crosby, Stills, Nash type music is really good.
Yeah. All right. So up next we got. Oh, so wait. So Little Richard or Crosby, Stills, Nash? Obviously, Crosby, Stills, and Nash for you here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the same. All right. Up next we got Aerosmith versus Rush.
Oof, brutal.
Yeah.
Those are two brutal choices.
Yeah.
I can't. Wow. Jeez.
I gotta pick Aerosmith. I've never liked Rush. You know, here we are, two Canadians can't stand Rush, but
Yeah, I don't like them.
no.
Aerosmith, at least I like a couple of their '90s jams.
Yeah. I've always liked Sweet Emotion. They had some more like early mid '70s songs that I never really knew, and I heard them one time. I'm like, who is this? And it was Aerosmith, but it wasn't like one of their big hits, and it sounded pretty good. So, still not a band I'm gonna ever listen to on my own.
Except the song Pink, maybe.
Yeah, Jaded's a good one.
It is, yep.
So you're gonna go Aerosmith here, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right. Next two, we got ZZ Top versus Nirvana. No question for me. Yeah. And I know you're not a huge Nirvana fan, but I think you can safely say you like them more than ZZ Top.
After watching that Puddle of Mud video covering About a Girl, I really appreciate Nirvana.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing I should have said when we were talking about what have you been listening to lately. I've been listening to that video many times because I can't get over it. I actually saw someone posted a video of them covering, or the singer doing an acoustic cover of that from like
I watched that
15 years ago. And clearly, he could clearly sing much better back then. I think the guys had a better.
I think it's a troll still. I don't believe it's real.
Yeah.
There's no way he's making himself sound like that.
You think?
Yeah, there's no way it's real.
Yeah, could be. Still good. It's still good content though.
Oh, it's excellent content.
Yeah. All right, so we got Aerosmith versus Nirvana for you. I'm gonna assume you're gonna pick Nirvana. And I can only assume you're going to pick CSN over Nirvana.
Yeah.
So I got the same thing. I got CSN versus Nirvana. I think I almost want to pick Nirvana just because of the impact they had on me my whole life growing up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Like they changed the entire trajectory of my life growing up. But CSN did have a really big impact on me much later in my 20s. But I don't...
That's the thing, like, what do we go with, you know?
Yeah. I think I gotta pick Nirvana, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Not unfortunately, but I do. Just, I feel like I owe them more than I do CSN, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, the top half is going to be either Beatles or CSN for you. And who do you think it's going to be? Who are you going to pick?
That's very tough. Wow, those are two of my favorite groups ever.
Yeah.
Beatles. I mean, there really is no, you know, the only thing that would be more difficult is Beatles versus Ramones or something. Because they're the two groups that are so influential.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so Beatles for me, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Beatles too over Nirvana. Asked me in high school, and I would have told you Nirvana all the way. But
And so would I.
Yeah.
But we're not going with that. We're going with it right now.
No. All right. So let's do the bottom half here. So let's move on to the bottom left. section. So up next we have Ike and Tina Turner versus Michael Jackson.
Well, I think that one should be canceled because you can't have Michael Jackson on anything.
Well, he's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's the king of pop. He's done a lot of monumental things in music.
I know all his music, but I refuse to vote for him. So.
Okay. So you're gonna go Ike and Tina?
Yeah, I don't know any songs by them.
You must.
I knew all Michael Jackson's. I used to love his music, but
you know what's love got to do with it? That's Tina Turner.
That's Tina Turner. That's not Ike and Tina.
Yeah.
I like Tina Turner, but this isn't Tina. That's Ike and Tina.
Right.
Ike was a horrible person, by the way.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson, he's a monster, right?
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, but I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson for this one, and then we'll see who he's up against, and he'll probably get voted out. But I just can't deny the catalog. You know, that's why
I'm gonna have to stick to my guns here and don't deny the catalog. I mean.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah.
All right. So below them we have the Police versus Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Tom Petty for me.
Yeah. Gonna agree very hard with you there. I goddamn love Tom Petty.
So do I, yeah.
I was legitimately crushed when he passed away.
Yeah, I never got to see him live. That's kind of the bummer. But I also wasn't. It's one of those artists you don't need to see live. I think like you just listen to the music.
Yeah. I mean, after he died, just going back and listening through his catalog, the guy had so many hit songs, so many good songs, and plenty that I didn't know he did, and he did a lot of good covers. His Traveling Wilburys stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. So Tom over the Police. So Ike and Tina or Tom Petty? You're obviously going to pick Tom Petty.
Yeah. Good assumption.
Yeah. I'm going to do the same. So Michael Jackson or Tom Petty for me. I'm going to go with Tom Petty easily. Okay. So the next two below that, the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys or the Beastie Boys.
Oh man,
I love how those two came out together. Just the similarities in their name, obviously, but
that's actually. I thought when you said Beach Boys, I was like, oh, automatically Beach Boys. But I really like the Beastie Boys. Damn. I'll have to go with the Beach Boys, I guess, but it's a narrow margin.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go with them too, but I love the Beastie Boys. I've actually been re-listening to a lot of the Beastie Boys stuff in the last month or so.
So have I. Never got into Paul's Boutique before.
Yeah, that movie it's like on the Apple. I think it's
Yep.
Apple TV. That documentary just came out. I haven't watched it, but they've been doing the rounds on some of the late night shows. Well, the from home late night shows.
Yeah, I saw that. Do you see the trailer? They used the song they played in the trailer was that I Don't Know song.
Oh, the slow one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played that instead of like one of their big songs.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Off of what's that album called?
Check Your Head. Is that the one?
No, the one with them on like the.
Hello Nasty. Sorry.
What is it?
Hello Nasty.
Hello Nasty. Yeah, they're in like the can, like the peeled back can on the front. They're laying in like a can. Yeah. Yeah, that song came on a shuffle playlist for me, and I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
I think it rediscovered. It became like a rediscovered gem, and that's why it was on that trailer. Maybe.
Yeah.
They probably forgot about it themselves. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, before the Beastie Boys were a rap group, they were a pretty damn awesome hardcore punk outfit. So they covered a lot of ground.
They're pretty funny almost, but
yeah. All right, so we're gonna go with the Beach Boys. I'm gonna agree with you there. Obviously, the Beach Boys. You know, you can't not deny the power of that group. And
Yep.
all right, so up next we have Bob Dylan versus the Sex Pistols.
Well, the Sex Pistols have one album,
Yeah,
so how could you ever put them up against anybody? I mean, I like them both a lot, but yeah, Dylan would be the clear choice, I think.
yep. Yeah, Sex Pistols definitely have some great songs.
I love that album. So even I liked it when I was a teenager, and I still love it today.
Yep. Yep. I agree. It's awesome, but how can you not pick Bob Dylan? So now it's going to come down to the Beach Boys or Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, yeah.
Yep. I agree. Bob Dylan. And now it's going to be Tom Petty or Bob Dylan.
Dylan, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just find it funny. If only Tom knew that he was being matched up against his old pal.
He'd be stoked, probably.
Yeah. Bob Dylan. All right, so we're down to the last 8, and then we'll determine who wins against Bob Dylan, and then the final will be against the Beatles. So first up, we got the Rolling Stones versus Bruce Springsteen.
Damn.
What you think about that?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's easy, but I love them both so much. But Bruce, for me, it's Bruce, yeah.
Yeah, figured.
I have to.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I love the Stones, but, you know.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Stones on this one. Unfortunately, I do love Bruce Springsteen, but he's not my favorite like he is yours.
Mm.
All right, shake the hat up here a little bit. Up next, we got the Kinks versus Neil Young.
Neil Young.
I agree. Love the Kinks. Absolutely love the Kinks, but so Bruce or Neil? That's the question here.
Neil. I would have to give it to Neil.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, that's a tough one. For me, it's Neil or the Stones. And I mean, the Rolling Stones are one of my favorite bands of all time. Neil Young's one of my favorite artists of all time. It's almost unfair to measure what one person has done versus what 5 have done, or 6 or 7, depending on how many members of the Stones you're going to count.
But like the Stones between Bruce, it's kind of like a fun fluff thing compared to a serious someone that actually speaks to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to choose because they're so different.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, I think I'm going to go with Neil over the Stones and just give him the edge, the upper
he's
hand.
got the best of both worlds, where he rocks
Yeah.
and he's saying something. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Stones are. Sometimes you're not feeling Neil, but you put on. No, I'm not saying you're not feeling it, but you want something that's gonna make you get up and shake your tail feather, and the Stones will let you do that.
They're awesome. I listened to Exile the other day, actually.
Yeah. Oh man, what an album. Okay. Up next, the final 4. We have the band versus Clash.
The Clash, for me, one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yep. Years ago, asked me, and I would have told you the band, but I'm gonna go with the Clash too. The band are a monumental band, but I want to listen to the Clash basically any time of day, and I don't really feel like that with the band. So
Yeah, exactly. And pound for pound, better songs. They're saying something. It speaks to me. All the reasons listed on all the previous artists apply to the Clash for me.
yeah, okay. Last two here.
Pleasure. Yeah.
CCR, or the Ramones.
Ramones, obviously. Love CCR though.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna pick the Ramones as well.
Jeez, these brackets just got really really crazy.
Yeah, this was quite the finale.
I gotta pick between the Clash and the Ramones. uh, is that my first one?
What's that?
Yeah, do you want me to pick between those two?
Yeah, that's how it's gonna get down to. Yeah.
Oh, Ramones. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but
Yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to the Ramones more so, but I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick the Clash at the end of the day for me.
yeah, I listen to the Clash more now, I would say.
Yeah.
But
I think, yeah, at the end of the day, you got to go with what do you still listen to now, and what did that band do for you in your life. That's kind of why I picked Nirvana over CSN. I love, you know, you'll drive yourself crazy, right? Just trying to think about this, but
fair enough.
so Neil so now it comes to you for Neil or the Ramones. For me, I'm picking Neil or the Clash. I'm picking Neil. And then it comes to Bob Dylan or Neil Young for me. I don't know what you're going to end up with, but
I don't know if I can choose between those two, unfortunately. Might have to just call it here for me because I can't with good conscience keep going.
yeah, it's tough.
Well, nowadays I listen to more Neil. I have to give it to Neil.
Yeah? You sure about that?
I often say my favorite band of all time is the Ramones, but Neil Young's not a band, so
Yeah. Okay. Bob Dylan or Neil Young?
Bob Dylan.
Ooh.
Fortunately.
All right. Beatles or Bob? Oh, we love to drive ourselves up the wall with this stuff, don't we? This is what we love. We love the torture. Drinking some nice lemon and ginger water here.
Oh, that looks nice.
It's good. It's good for the belly.
Yep. I like lemon and ginger tea. I make that a lot.
Yeah. I've been drinking a lot of peppermint tea lately.
Not a big peppermint guy. I'm not a big mint fan, actually, to be honest.
Oh, I love it.
Pepper, I love pepper. Ground black pepper. Oh, give me that all day. But mint, don't mix the two. Just don't. Anyways,
I'm a big chocolate peppermint guy.
I'm not. Chocolate. Oh, any day. You throw the mint in there, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, I made haystacks today.
Oh,
and they tasted like an Eat More bar.
Oh, yeah.
They were really good, actually.
Yeah, I love a good chocolate haystack.
Yeah.
That's a Canadian thing, I think, haystacks.
Yeah, they're also called porcupines or macaroons.
Macaroons, yeah, my mom called them macaroons. All right, well, enough stalling here. What's your choice, Beatles or Bob?
In terms of albums, I gotta go with Beatles.
Okay. The Beatless are your winner.
if it was a complete discography kind of thing, I'd probably go with Bob.
Okay. So mine ended with Bob or Neil at the bottom. I'm going to pick Neil. And mine ends up with the same as you, except it's Neil instead of Bob. But Beatles or Neil. And I got to pick the Beatles too, obviously. Just, you know, the amount of what they did in the time they were a thing. And if you want to take into consideration, which we did in our last video, including all of the Beatles solo albums in there too, which it's not because they're inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame individually.
Mm-hmm.
At least Paul and George are. Is Ringo?
Yeah, recently he was, I believe.
Right. And John was he posthumously? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think, till like 1988 or something.
Yeah, well, the Beatles were inducted in '89.
Mm.
But, yeah.
They were probably the first ones to be inducted, I would assume.
Yeah.
One of the first.
Yeah.
The Stones, obviously.
Yeah, and the Beach Boys in the early '90s, which, if anyone has not seen that YouTube video, you should definitely check that out if you want to cringe your ass off to Mike Love.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, well, we both ended up with the Beatles.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
I
mean, it comes down to it for me. It's, you know, Beatles, Neil, Bob Dylan, the Stones, the Kinks.
Classic rock bands, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, there's a few others like we were talking about earlier, the indie bands, the 2000s pop bands, Canadian bands. You know, there's so many you can do with this, so it's fun to do. But
a punk one would be cool.
Yeah. I just thought I looked over this one and I thought it covered a good range of. And there's even some in the hat that I didn't get to, but you know, in there was Elton John and R.E.M. and Black Sabbath and the Velvet Underground, ABBA. Tons of great artists that probably would have gotten eliminated earlier on had they reached some of these bands. But anyways, that was the game. That was our little game.
You did a great job, Justin. Yeah. That was entertaining.
Yeah. All right.
Something to do in these times.
Exactly. Some little fun music stuff. And if you like watching stuff like this, maybe we'll do some more. Maybe we'll try to think of something else to do that's not this. Obviously, something different. But it's just fun to have little talks and kind of it's like a little talk show, right? Chat with your buddies.
It's like ASMR, just to put people to sleep. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Some people like watching this stuff while they're doing their dishes or they're laying in bed or they're having personal time, what have you, anything.
For sure.
So yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. This has been a fun little video. If you enjoyed watching this, thank you. Leave a comment if you want. Hopefully you're hanging in there during these tough times. Stay strong. Reach out to your family and friends if you want to talk to anyone. That's what this is all about. If you don't have family or friends to talk to, well, there's lots of people on the internet that'll talk to you. We're all over the place. We're everywhere.
We hear.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching. And we'll see you on the next episode, whatever that will be. Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you having me again.
All right. See you, everyone.